The New York Jets and Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego face off Monday night in a huge game for AFC playoff positioning. And I got my 5 bold predictions for the game. Let's go. Well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm WA2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. So we're going to get into our 5 bold predictions for Jets versus Chargers on Monday Night Football. But before we do that, we do what we always do. We hold ourselves accountable. Let's do a quick recap of the 5 predictions we made for the Jets versus the Giants. So I predicted there would be at least 9 punts combined in the game. I should have amended that to saying in the first half. 24 punts in this game. My goodness. It was a punt fest, and way to go, Thomas Morstead, named AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. I predicted one of the backup Jets would score their first touchdown of the season. Did not happen. Breece Hall was the only one who scored a TD for the Jets. I also predicted Breece Hall would get over 125 yards from scrimmage. Not quite. He had 93. I predicted at least 8 combined sacks in the game, and there were 8 sacks exactly, 4 by the Jets, 4 by the Giants. And I predicted, for whatever crazy reason, that the Jets would get their first roughing the passer call in their favor since December of 2021. It, of course, did not happen. The streak is now up to, I think, 678 days as of this recording. So, and my score prediction was Jets 20, Giants 13. Jets win 13-10 in overtime. All right, so let's get to Jets versus Chargers. Now, I think this is really a strength versus strength, weakness versus weakness match. The strength of the Chargers is their offense. The strength of the Jets is their defense. And then the weakness, vice versa. So the Chargers defense against the Jets offense. I do predict at least 5 sacks by the Chargers in this game. Look at it this way. The Jets are not going to have one offensive lineman in place who will be starting this game where he was projected to start at the beginning of the season. Mekhi Becton will likely be at left tackle. We're not expecting Dwayne Brown to play. Laken Tomlinson is now questionable with a hamstring injury. Joe Tippmann may be back, but he would be filling in at center, which is where he was intending to play anyway. And of course, right guard, right tackle, those 2 positions, God help. So you're going to have at least 3, maybe 4 backups on this offensive line, and you're going up against Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. Don't forget Morgan Fox, who has 5 sacks, although he is dealing with an oblique injury. I think it's going to be a rough game for the Jets offensive line. Prediction number 2, I do predict the Jets will hit at least 2 40-plus yard pass plays. All right, the Chargers have given up the second most passing yards per game. Their secondary has been terrible this season. I think the Jets are going to take some shots down the field, and not just when there's a minute to go in the game. I think Nathaniel Hackett has to figure out by now that eventually you have to take some shots, especially when you have some young receivers and you have an arm who has the strength that Zach Wilson does have. So I think they're going to hit a couple of big plays on the Chargers in this game. I predict the Jets defense will force multiple turnovers. They did not turn the Giants over last week. Justin Herbert likes to take his shots downfield, but really Keenan Allen is definitely the most reliable weapon they have. As far as receivers go, you have Mike Williams out for the season with a knee injury, unfortunately. Josh Palmer, from what last I've heard, has not practiced this week, so that could be a loss for them as well. I think the Jets are going to turn San Diego over at least twice. Yes, I said San Diego. I do predict Austin Eckler will score twice. The Jets are not playing well against the run at all, so I think he's going to have a pretty big game. And here's a pretty bold one. I'm going to predict Justin Herbert will be held to under 200 yards passing, and that would be for just the second time this season. The only other time that's happened so far was against the Raiders, and in that game he went just 13 for 24. So I say the Chargers have under 200 yards passing. Now, as far as the final score goes, I definitely think it's going to be a close game. I've gone back and forth several different ways. I expect sort of a high-risk, high-reward game. I think this is going to be sort of like vintage Zach Wilson. Not saying that's a good thing, but I just don't trust this Jets offensive line to hold the fort enough times to keep up with the Charger offense. I'm going to go 23-16. Chargers win the game. Those are my thoughts on the game. I'll be doing a full game preview. That should be up as well, so be sure to watch that video too. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.